What's up, man?
What's up? Here we go. Pretty excited to talk with you. It's like I was. It went pretty fast, guys, because we've been talking with SBK for a while. We've been doing the articles in Silent Shadows, and I'm a psychologist for those who may don't know me and watches this interview by SBK. And we've been talking about healthy gaming, and it's like how I didn't fall earlier in the idea of interviewing SBK myself, because it's one of the most beloved guys by the community. And that does anyone interviewed you yet, SBK?
I don't think so, no. I got invited by Cargos once
Yeah.
for a podcast about rogues on TBC, but that was pretty much the first time I was invited somewhere for this kind of stuff, and that wasn't very easy for me, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. But well, that's better now, I guess. That should be okay.
Yeah, never mind. By the way, SBK, your image of the webcam is freezed. Yeah, now it went back
Okay,
again.
okay.
Now it went back again. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so for those of my audience that may don't know SBK, can you introduce yourself a little bit, firstly from the real life perspective, and then mostly from an in-game perspective, you know?
Yes. Well, my name is Cedric. I live in France, in south of France. I'm 31, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm working in healthcare company as
Mm-hmm.
a project leader in communication in the communication services, and more specifically in social media.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing this for 2 years, but I work in this company since 2040, so it's been almost 7 years now. And yeah, what can I say now about the gaming perspective? I've started playing Warcraft back in 2008, and I
Mm-hmm.
immediately fell in love with the game, with the social aspect of the game, because it was really a nice way to spend a lot of time playing with people, connecting with people from everywhere, and I really liked that because
So you got the late DVC, mate.
yeah, I came really late in TBC. It was really the very end of the season 4, and I immediately jumped on private servers once they released Wrath of the Lich King. So I pretty much never played on retail before the last few days, the last few weeks, may I say. So that's quite weird for me to be part of this, but I'm super proud to have the chance to enjoy the game uh, on Classic Burning Crusade. So that's great, and I'm happy to pay for it, even if it was costing the like 3 times more. I'd pay for it because the experience I I think will be the best for me.
The best
So
for
yeah, I'm
everyone,
very
actually.
excited.
Yeah. This experience is not going to be repeatable, it's going to be unique. Everyone agrees on that.
Yeah, I didn't
No,
have the chance to experience the game back in the days, so now I'll take my chance to see it live, and yeah, I really hope people won't be disappointed by this expansion.
how old were you when you got first touch with DVC?
I remember I was playing Hunter, and I was discovering pretty much everything, like because on the trial account, I think we were locked to level 20 or so,
Mm-hmm.
and I basically discovered the whole game on private servers, and it was a little French server with like less than 1,000 player for a long time, a long period of time, and I did everything I could back in the days. Like I was playing in the first year of my playtime on Warcraft. I played like more than 100 day of play. Like I had 110 or something like this of played.
Whoa.
Of slash played, yeah, during my first year. So it was like really, I had three tasks in my day. I was sleeping, I was going to the uni, and I was playing. I was
Yeah.
doing nothing else for a year, and I was a guild master back in the day, so I was really in the life.
Yeah.
My guild was doing PvE a lot. We got several achievements like first kills, and I was really bad. I won't lie. I wasn't even the red leader. I was just the guild leader. I had I had a community around me with people that I liked, and we got several uh, players that had a lot of experience doing PvE, and we did the world progress. On that little server that was really cool, and then I left the guild, like I don't know, but let's say a year after this. For personal reason, I had to leave the game, and basically when I came back, I completely changed my vision of the game. I stopped clicking, I played a new class, I changed the faction, I changed everything. Basically, I completely broke up with my old guild. They were awesome, I really loved them. There was no problem with them. It was more about me, about what I wanted, my ambition in the game. Like I wanted to touch PvP, to do it well,
Hmm.
because I knew I was really bad when I was hunter. So then I played priest, and that's how the story started for me, I guess.
Can you tell us a bit more about your life history since how was your childhood, how was your adolescence? Then you already spoke about the first touch with World of Warcraft DVC, which gets you in the
Oh, okay.
university. But let's know a little bit more about yourself.
The reason I played, kind
More,
of.
just tell, if you want, a little bit about your life history.
Yeah,
Video games,
yeah,
then
okay.
WoW, but we'll
Yeah,
WoW.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, to be honest, I wasn't really gaming for the begin for the yeah until I played WoW. I mean, I started playing Halo,
Mm-hmm.
on live. I really liked it. I mean, I played the game. I had a shitty computer back in the days, but I played it, the solo missions, etc. I finished the game, and then I jumped on the online version of it, and I really loved it. And I was spending day and night on it, and it was really cool. And back in the days, I was downloading a lot of things like movies, musics, etc. And on the website I was using, there was an ad for World of Warcraft private server that I discovered. So when I found that ad, I didn't even know about World of Warcraft. Like in 2008, that's when I discovered the game. And then when I clicked on the ad, I found that website with the advertisement for the game, etc. And then I choose to discover it on the trial version. And really, I've played like yeah, since that day I've played WoW, and I never really touched other games. I've mostly played this game. And before, I had a PlayStation, for example, and I was spending a lot of time on my PlayStation 2. But computer games is really started with Halo and World of Warcraft, I'd say. And yeah, I think I've started playing video games because I had a little sister, and a sister which has like 7 years more than me, so I was kind of alone because my little sister couldn't play with me really on the same kind of games. Like I was playing, magic cards, etc. Yeah, I was playing tons of things that my little sister couldn't play with me, and my other sister really wasn't interested at all by all what this shit I was doing. So yeah, I've started playing video games because it was a good way to be busy, to have a hobby. And yeah, I don't know if you want more details or...
No, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I was thinking about the thing you exposed, that you in the private server you were the guild master, and then you are now the Silent Shadow master. So
Yeah.
One question I have for you, which maybe is a tough question. Obviously, why you do this, but let's get later into that. We are kind of beginning from the very end. But what happens after Wrath of the Lich King Classic to Silent Shadows? Because when I was thinking about the interview just a few hours ago, it's like, what the fuck? Not only he's doing this because he loves what he does, he even does this, and this kind of has a tough end, and still he's still pushing for this. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
You ask what Silent Shadows will become after Wrath of the Lich King Classic?
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Blizzard is trying to create some infinite
cycles
of this game with Classic. Like people on Classic will jump on TBC, and at the end of TBC, we'll probably have some Classic server. During TBC, we might have some fresh server for Classic era. And then when we'll be at the end of TBC progress, we'll have to jump to Wrath of the Lich King. Some of the people who want to stay on TBC servers, I guess they will be able to go on the Classic era, which are going to progress to TBC, etc. And I think this will be quite infinite, and the game will always exist. I mean, the Burning Crusade version will always exist, I guess. And to be honest, I don't really have plans for, I don't even know.
That's what is insane about you.
I don't even know if Wrath of the Lich King will be a thing. I don't even know if Silent Shadows will progress to Wrath of the Lich King. It will mostly depend about the community, about what people want, what I can do personally, because my real life is really... I mean, when I started the website, I wasn't expecting my situation, how to say that, my job to
be that busy.
Yeah, I mean, I've progressed a lot. I've got 2 proms in the last 2 years. I will have another proms in September, and it will eat all my time. Really, I'm really scared about this because I have to manage things really differently towards the website, because so far what I know is that I prefer managing my website than playing the game. Really, if I have to choose between both activities when I have some free time this evening or tomorrow, whatever, I will always check if I have something to do on the website before even logging to play. And that's why I keep saying that I don't even know how much I will be able to invest myself in the game. And especially season 1, I really don't like this season, because it's only about farming, etc., and preparing everything.
Yeah.
And season 2 will be way more for players like me, because there is I will be just able to do PvP in battlegrounds and in arenas to catch up my gear. I will be able to craft the goggles. I will be able to craft the belt, and yeah, I'll be okay. I will just do some heroics to get some badge of justice, etc. And yeah, I will be able to catch up a bit easily the gear. I won't have insane PvE stat, but honestly, I don't care because I will be playing some sort of combos that won't be
necessary. Yeah.
that depending on that, because that I will just play as simple as I can. And to come back to Silent Shadows, I think I will decide the progress to Wrath during the phase 3 or 4, mostly the phase 3, I think, because we'll start to hear about probably Wrath of the Lich King and the future of classic servers. So at this time, I will have to. I assume the community around Silent Shadows will be way bigger than it is now, and for that reason, I think we'll be able to gather the community's feedbacks about that. Do they want to progress to Wrath? If so, okay, we have to prepare to create a team with people that know very well about the game, because that's absolutely not my perimeters, and I don't want to deliver content that that I'd be, how to say that, if I don't know how to how things work, or I won't do a guide that if I don't even know the information myself, I won't do a guide about it. That's all. I want to experience these things to create my own opinion before sharing guides or whatever. I'm not this kind of guy. So that's why Silent Shadows is a lot focused on community experience, and the fact that we all are able to share, to contribute to the website, to make it what it is and what I want it to become.
Okay, SBK, so we have a guy here that is like, okay, I would prefer to enter in Silent Shadows community rather than playing on my main rogue, which you are an insane rogue, I have to say, by the way. You are one of the most clever rogues I ever played with. Because you notice that when you do hard things, like hell out of smooth and easy, and you do that, so it's like, seems easy how you do it, but it's not easy. It's because you are on this level. And even with the possibility of playing PvP, of enjoying PvP as is best, because for sure you will get Gladiator if you aim to do that, and even playing like that tough composition Hunter Rogue in 2S, which I don't like. Jokes apart, what I want to tell you is that why you were like a bit the same of starting the Patreon, mate. Because what I think is you have fear of people telling you that you don't do this because you love it. I mean, I think you love what you do so much that you want to take that deep care to what you do, that you were afraid of starting the Patreon because you don't want nobody to tell you, okay, you do this for money or whatever. But I want to reinforce your self-esteem in that, and I want to ask people that Silent House obviously needs money. Obviously, money will be good to invest in whatever, or to pay some people that take care of the webpage itself, which is an insane amount of work. And yeah, you're looking also for collaborators that may work freely by their own will.
To be honest, I give a lot more values to find people that want to contribute to the website than getting any sort of revenue from the website. I mean, I didn't start the website for money purposes. Like, it was just a cool idea of creating something that would remind the good old days of roguerogue.com or this kind of website that we had back then, that I didn't even experience myself. But yeah, I really wanted to. I mean, be it in real life or gaming, I always loved creating communities and creating to unite peoples. Like for a very long time, most of my friends were friends because I was quite the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were all my very best friend. Like I don't have one best friend, I have tons of best friend, kind of. And because I mostly love all of my friends, I mean. And then when I was moving from the city because my parents wanted to move, etc. Then suddenly all these friends were quite stopping to meet each other, etc. And when I was coming back, they were all gathering again during the vacations or whatever. And yeah, this is something that I was often told. Like I'm kind of creating communities or I don't know if that's the correct word, but circle of friends, you know.
Yeah, I have
And
one question. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is very important in terms of psychology. May you don't want to talk about this, but the question is the following. You have your right to don't answer, but this is something that happened in your family role too, between your sisters and your parents. You were kind of the guy that.
not really.
Okay.
I'm really independent from my family. Actually, I think it's the reason why I'm so in need of friendships and creating communities, even in game. I mean, or now with Iron Shadows, it's more the fact that, to be honest, I was really a lonely kid, I'd say, towards my family. Like it's quite hard to explain, and there are things that I don't want to talk about. But
For sure.
I was kind of like I don't have the
Introvert.
words. Yeah, introvert. I was like just watching what was happening during family events and whatever, all this kind of stuff. And I always was the nice kid. Like they will all tell you like, yeah, you were so quiet, so quiet, yeah, so nice, so kind, so gentle, whatever, and so calm, peaceful, and yeah, my parents were still, punishing me for shit that my little sister was doing. And I never was like uh, I didn't have the conscious. I don't know. Sorry for
The
my
conscious or the tools or the
yeah. I didn't know.
assertiveness.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware that was happening. Like for me, it was normal life, family life that happens like this, and I wasn't even questioning this. Like, okay, my sister did something bad, and that's my fault. Okay, okay. I wasn't even really caring, and yeah, I always was pretty independent after that when I grew up. And yeah, I've missed a lot of moments with my parents. I think they didn't. I actually, that's a theory. That's a theory that I have, and it's a subject that is way deeper, and that's probably not the subject of this
You want to
right
talk
now.
about? No problem.
But kind of like I think my parents weren't done for being parents. Actually, they didn't have the idea of how to be a good father or a good mother.
Yeah,
And
like 70% of the parents.
yeah, they weren't prepared, may I say. And yeah, my mother really, like, she had really bad phrases when I was young.
Yeah,
Like she said, like when I was 10, like to my father, she said like, okay, now he's 11, in the I don't know, in France it's the college, but I know it's not the college. It's
in
yeah,
the
I don't know.
secondary school.
Yeah, in the secondary school. and you care about him, and I will just care about the little sister. So when I hear that, like, I was okay. So my mother don't want to ever. So okay. So it kind of broke something that day, and she knows because I told her that's a problem. So today is there is no problem between my mother and I, except the fact that I'm not so close to her like other people would be close to their mother. But besides that, there is no angriness or anything. And my father, on the other hand, was really working hard. Like he was not counting his hours of work to make things works at home, because my mother wasn't really working neither. So it was really hard. And my father, for this reason, didn't really focus on his kids. And I think he missed something, and he's aware of that, and he's suffered a lot from this. Because now there is reason, but there are reasons, but he suffer about this, and yeah, that's the reason why I think my parents weren't really prepared to face this reality of being parents. And I was really aware of this like very early in my life. Like it's been like 15 years, I know that, and I always thought that, and I even wrote something about that. So it's something really constricted in my mind about this. And that's why I focused on friendships and built a lot of solid friendships.
You were maybe you had the role in your family not to have this sense of community making in your family, but at least making some energy structuring of good energy, because you have the role of your mother that has her own history, that you felt that she then was there for you, and your father was AFK too from your life because he was busy at work. Your role in your family was kind of to give that channel of good energy, at least for yourself, and trying to hold up all the toxicness and all the lack of parentship there.
Yeah, and basically I know that I won't reproduce a lot of things that I experienced in my old childhood. So I will just that's I'm not father yet, but that's a plan for the next years, I'd say. And yeah, there are a lot of things that I want to share with my kids, etc. And I will not reproduce obviously what I gone through. So yeah, and finally I might be lucky enough to experience the family life I would like. I would have liked to have when I was young, and give this to my own kids, actually. But that will be a different part of my life. I think gaming will slightly disappear from that life, because gaming
for sure
always was something that it's free time. But once you got kids, your free times doesn't exist that much, I'd say.
Yeah, and you will have even more fun playing in the street with your kids rather than playing arena. So that's for sure. I mean, and 97% of the people will have that natural priorities and that natural implicit movement to do things, not to having to even control not playing. It's like you have your kids, let's play with them. The honest advice here, obviously, is to don't become so much idealistic, about, okay, I want to focus the education of my children of what I didn't have. Is rather to have the balance between that. And lastly, but not least, on your profile may be the advice to tell in an assertive way a really little tiny piece of water that fulfills the glass. before it's too much full of water that it splashes down. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure to understand.
Yeah, it's the metaphor of the glass of water that gets full.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Piece of water by piece of water, you know?
Yeah.
So for this profile, you have to take off every little tiny piece of water, you know? In an assertive way. Even you don't channel that good energy. But what you're doing is having like a not good energy by saying that, having an assertive energy here to deny a really bad energy on the long run.
And what?
To deny a bad energy moment in the long run, which is when the water splashes down from the glass. Because, you know, more or less.
But what do you want to say? I'm not sure to understand. Sorry if I don't understand.
No, never mind. It's just the metaphor of the glass of water that.
But I understand the fact that the more you feel, then it can.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be comfortable to tell the other ones every tiny piece of water that is going into your glass with you not wanting to have that piece of water. It's not comfortable to say that. It's not channeling a good energy, but doing that is denying a bigger path energy in the future when your glass explodes, you know.
Yeah.
That's the metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks so much for showing us your personality, your pieces of your life history, because I really think that exposing ourselves is really mature and is something like gaming communities should be aware of, and is doing kind of more and more through this mental health awareness that is being in the gaming world, and how gaming connects with our lives, giving a space where we can express other things in some episodes of our lives that it's harder to express them. And let's close this chapter, and I want to get deeply full in the game itself. And going back, because you started to be known SBK because of movie making, and at some point you said you weren't able to outplay other rogues. I guess it was for your computer or something like that, so you decided to start movie making.
I've started movie making actually when I was doing PvE. I've started to record games because I had there in the small community I was part of, like in my early days of World of Warcraft. There were people doing PvP movies as priests, as druids, etc. And I really enjoyed the idea of recording the own game and showing it to the other people. I never thought about that before. And so I started recording PvE encounters, like specific boss that we were struggling to kill, for example, to understand what was happening, what we could improve. And basically the whole idea of movie making for me always was to improve the way I play the game, the way the way I could have done I could do differently from what I did. Even when it was successful, like winning an arena, I was always checking at what I did wrong, what I could do better to succeed faster, to get something quicker, etc. And I've started doing a lot of videos when I was Shadow Priest, because that's the beginning of my PvP era as a player. I was playing on arena tournaments back in the days. I was really average. When I started, I was like, I don't know, but 1.6. I was even screenshotting my rating, like, okay, I've got 16 and 50. It's okay. I have no loss. It's okay. I'm good. And I met a really good rogue that was very, very young. Like he was, I guess, 15 at max when we were playing, and he was really doing great. Like most of young players, they always shine. I don't know how to say it, but they are always, when they understood the game, like it's always easier for them to adapt and be creative, etc. And I got the chance to meet that young player that played
Fresh
with
minds.
me, some Shadow Priest rogue with me, and we ended up like playing 2000 and 2.3k
Whoa.
on that private servers, and on the arena tournament it will translate to a bit more than 2000. It was like around the shoulders back in the days. And back in times, when I was doing videos, I was always showing them to some of my friends which were part of the elite of the PvP on my servers, and they were always saying stuff like, "Oh my god, you're so noob," but they were just trolling, but they were always able to point out something that was wrong in my videos, and these kind of things really motivated me to improve, to make sure that everything is polished when I played. And as a Shadow Priest, and then as a Mage, because I played Mage for a while too, I wasn't really able to master the things as well. Like the other pro players, I don't know, but I wasn't a special great player. I was just like enjoying the game and trying to make good movies. And then I played Rogue, and as a Rogue, I don't know, but my vision stepped up quite nicely, because I had the experience from other classes, which always benefits to your new class when you play it, when you reroll. The fact that you have played many other classes always help to adapt to this new class, to understand how it should work, what you need to focus on, etc. And when I started playing Rogue, actually I discovered like an infinite world of possibilities. Like Rogue is the only class that can answer to every situation, that can use an ability to counter any other ability from any other class. And basically, when I started to create Rogue videos, it was really, I don't know how to say that, but everything I was doing was feeling rewarding. Like I was enjoying taking risks to try to vanish up someone. That was really random moves at the beginning, because I was just discovering the class and its potential, etc. And then I've carved my path with different new things. I've tried to get things that felt like Wrath of the Lich King inside the TBC environment, and that's how I print my own signature on the game. I think, like with using a lot of envenoms, using a lot of ambush, playing improved ambush spec, which is nothing on TBC private servers. It was nothing. I was the only guy playing this at the rate I had back then. And that was really a good way to enjoy the game as a game.
What are your favorite moments of your whole experience till the date playing World of Warcraft? What are your favorite moments? Maybe from your experience, or maybe from watching others people?
My favorite moment, there are two favorite moments actually. The first one is the moment where I discovered the game. Like really, it was something like, I remember I was calling at my parents like, come and check the screen. This world is wow, this is mind blowing. I was like, look at this. I can fly. I can visit place. I was like, I was trying to sell them the game, and the feeling of discovering the game was absolutely great. Especially when I was in part of this PvE guild, because we built a lot of friendship, and even when I left that guild, actually, it continued to live for 5 years after my leave. So it was the longest the guild that lasted the longest period of time on that server. And the second best moment I have in mind is actually when I started playing Rogue, because when I was new to the class, I created a PvP guild, which was really fun. And I grouped a lot of people that I was seeing playing pretty well in Battlegrounds. And they all had some potential in my mind to become really solid players, even though elite would say, oh, they are average or bad or whatever, but I really liked something about them, and I created a PvP guild that was really, really enjoyable for every members that was part of it. And in that guild, actually, I had gladiator friends who joined, etc. So it benefited to the less experienced players to have some actual pro players in that guild. And yeah, that was really a good time, because I wasn't even caring about competition or whatever. And yeah, I really love these moments. And no, actually, I think the next moment I might really love is the Burning Crusade experience I will have on Classic.
Yeah, we will be insane, mate. I mean, will be the best experience ever, because actually I wanted to ask you, give me reasons, because for me it's obvious that DBC is better than Growth of the Lich King, but for many people there isn't, and I want to have a brief 3 to 5 minutes debate, no more, of the reasons why DBC is better. And one of the things is that the PvP is perfectly the best balanced PvP, more than Wrath of the Lich King. In Wrath of the Lich King, you have the Dead Knights, the Protection Warriors that, in my opinion, really annoys so much the game. And I think people overestimate Wrath of the Lich King because it was the peak of players, and it was some peak on a skill cap. Because on 2010, people started to play really good video games. StarCraft 2 popping up, League of Legends just started. So the level of playing video games was rising when Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, you didn't see that level on DBC. And now we're going to see it, and we are going to get the real picture between this debate of DBC or Wrath of the Lich King. What are your points on that?
To be honest, I'm part of the people that think that Wrath is probably better than TBC, but it's probably due to the fact that my vision of Wrath is limited to the videos I have watched, and more specifically the PvP videos I've watched. I think the PvP classes are feeling way more finished on Wrath, and the fact is on TBC, but maybe it's because of the private servers, small communities. On TBC, they are like, most of specs aren't viable for high rates or a competitive PvP, I'd say, compared to Wrath, or you can play apparently everything and make it work. You can see Destruction Warlock doing super well in arenas. You can see Warrior Paladin being super good. You can see everything. Rogue is super solid. Mage is super solid. Priest is super solid. Like, everything is great, and even the specs that were not working on TBC, they do work on Wrath. That's the reason for me that justify this opinion about Wrath of the Lich King. Now, you are right. We never saw this kind of knowledge and of high skill in Burning Crusade. We saw it briefly in the last years of Burning Crusade private servers, because a lot of multi rank 1 or big gladiators joined the game and prepared for the BC Classic. And so now we have we have witnessed a part of what could be the highest rate and the competition, but there is a black bullet point, may I say, for TBC. It's the RNG. RNG is they removed pretty much every bad RNG from Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why Wrath is probably better too, because when you come from Wrath or later expansion and you come on Burning Crusade, the first thing you'll see is, okay, I just got my kidney shot resisted 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
And now I lose the game just because of that. I was outplaying the guys, but no, the game decided that I won't win because my fucking kidney shot resisted, and I have nothing I can do to deal with it. I can't stack any stat to deal with it. It's like just the RNG, and I think that's the biggest problem of Burning Crusade, and even for esports, the RNG is. Imagine, just take a second to imagine people winning like 50k euros based on a case kidney shot resist. It's like
it feels like insane.
So there are things like this that that can justify such opinion. But for me, TBC, why? I had this opinion.
Yeah, you just posted why people may think Wrath of the Lich King is better. Now please expose why people may think TBC is better.
Well, the game feels a lot more authentic, I'd say. There is a lot of social aspect that disappeared from Wrath and later expansion. And I think this is mostly the things like this is the how to say that, the
genuine
the beginning of arenas. This is the beginning of highly competitive PvP for the game. And for when I think about it, like I think like, well, Wrath of the Lich King is a bit better than Burning Crusade, and I've played 10 years of Burning Crusade without going to Wrath of the Lich King, so it's weird to think about that. But I think the biggest aspect is probably that the fact that the game is, when you look at Rogue, the class looks as finished as it is on Wrath of the Lich King. But for all the class, it lacks something. Mobility for Hunter is really bad. On Burning Crusade, this is kind of things that could be reasons to prefer Wrath too. But I think the authenticity of the game and the social interaction you get from it are part of what makes TBC great and better than any other expansion for a lot of players. I'd say too that some raids are really, Karazhan rings a bell to a lot of players as one of their favorite raid, because the atmosphere, some boss encounters, etc., was really enjoyable.
And, but on PvE we cannot compete with Wrath of the Lich King. Wrath of the Lich King, in my opinion, I think was better in PvE. Nonetheless, don't you think in Arena DBC has more tactical decision making rather than Wrath of the Lich King, which is more fast paced, kinda more like has many all-in strategies as tier 1 strategies in many games?
The fact is,
for example, in RMP, I remember that in Wrath of the Lich King you have to rush the other priest, and in RMP mirror in DBC, it's okay, you go Mage, but quality of decision making and some switches can win you the game. It's not a closest strategy, Meanwhile, in Wrath of the Lich King it is.
I think, well, it depends the comp we are talking about, but I think one thing too that differentiates Wrath from TBC is that on Wrath, the PvP arena was really focused on 3v3 when on TBC everything was considered good and a good bracket, and there is a lot more interest for 2v2 on TBC compared to Wrath, but 2v2 are really very scripted, I'd say. Like for most comb and matchups, everything is quite known for today's. And in 3v3, there are a lot of possibilities to change the strategies. You can play a lot of combs, and there is almost for except for specific matchups, there is never only one path, I'd say, for 3v3. But again, 3v3 isn't something that I mastered myself. I have mostly played it for enjoying triple DPS. Like I don't know, I always liked this aspect of the game. Playing fast-paced combs or just triple DPS is something that always amused me. Like even when I was Shadow Priest, I was playing triple DPS, like double Shadow Priest plus Rogue, or Shadow Priest Mage Lock, or Shadow Priest Rogue Mage. I always was playing triple DPS, and because I love the fact that people have to deal with a ton of damage and the pressure we can bring. And yeah, so my experience as a 3v3 player is
but still, even in that composition SBK, I feel like you have some control. The enemy team have some control on their quality of decision making in some tiny spots, like going for the CC in the Mage rather than in the Shadow Priest, or going for damage in one, or I mean there's quality of decision making in there. But the quality of decision making you can do against that in What of the Lich King, you don't have that much space to do quality of decision compared to DPC. Still, even playing against 3 DPS, because I played that RMP with Shadow Priest, and okay, you rush someone, but you still have to do quality of decision making. Like, do I do DPS? Do I stop for having a sip here? Even if I have this sip here, will it be trinketed? Will it be valued to have a second sip? And going for the play of second sip, will I delay to match the damage on the main target, which is the prio? So it's like, there are some times that it is good, there is some time that that there is not. And in Growth of the Lich King, we felt like, okay, we are going this way. He has like 2 tools that for sure will do in this spot because it's the best spot. They don't have like a range of decisions that can variate.
I remember a community rogue from Silent Shadows saying that on TBC, arenas are a lot more like a chess game.
Yeah, and I love that.
Compared to Wrath or
tactical aspect. That's what I told you. Yeah, and I fucking love that.
This is more like a chess game. In fact, you have to prepare, to think about specific CDs and globals. I mean, this aspect exists in every expansion, and I'm okay with that. But on TBC, you don't have to play fast or to be the quickest guy ever. You
can play as low.
Sometimes you just have to be patient. You just have to wait the good moment.
That doesn't happen in Wrath of the Lich King.
And this is something on BC that is really enjoyable for a lot of players. And I recall Hydra saying, like after the tourney he won, the Asmon tourney, he said like, the Burning Crusade arenas were kind of like the best things he had like in the recent years, because it was way more intense while being slower paced.
Yeah, but it has cold and hot moments. So it's for me the perfect balance, mate. It's like hot moments, all in you have to fast decision making, and slow moments. Okay. And especially in early seasons where mana is a thing, much more than later seasons. It's like, okay, when I play on Endless, like season 3, season 4 year, I go with 300 haste, spamming everything. I wouldn't be able to do that in early seasons. So I have to be more like, okay, do I fake a go? Because maybe I will win many arenas, like faking I go and baiting the enemy team, like spending resources in, not getting value. Then I push harder with full mana, you know. It's like tiny details that is not the main structure of the arena, but in some arenas you may win because of that. So it's like these tiny little tweaks doesn't exist in What of the Lich King.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything more to add to this aspect? Because it's so intense and so passion-based, this talk. Because when I see all the community overwhelming with What of the Lich King, calm down, let's review this during the following 4 years, and then we talk, you know?
The fact is, Wrath is the beginning of the highest, the golden days of the world of PvP. This is the beginning of super competitive playstyle, and you know there were like great tournaments, and there were like great movies released during Wrath, and we can see the gap in between season 7 and 8 videos compared to season 2 and 3 videos. And I understand, because the Wrath of the Lich King gameplay is really the beginning of the gameplay we have now, I'd say, kind of. With the fast pace, the mobility of every class, etc. And I think that the reason why people prefer the retail people prefer Wrath to
it's more similar.
BBC is something that classic players, vanilla players, will really enjoy, because TBC is just an improvement of vanilla. Basically, they made every class a bit more solid, a bit more complete in PvP, and they lowered some aspects that were really annoying sometimes, like having 40 people for a raid disappeared with TBC, etc. And they added like new activities, like on Classic, I don't even play Classic, I never touched it, even I started playing my rogue during pre-patch, basically.
The same as me.
So but what I can see is mostly people are logging for raids or doing their buff, etc., and then they have to do pre-made Warsong and BGs, and that they can't do anything else. And on TBC, when you don't raid, actually, if you don't want to do BGs, well, you can do skirmishes, you can do 2v3, 2v2, 3v3 arenas, and this is a new activity that will really get people busy, because arenas can be really addictive and become your main activity while playing, actually. And for my part, I've been doing arenas like 90% of my playtime during my 3 or 4 last years of playing World of Warcraft were dedicated to doing arenas, and I never.
It's the essence, mate. It's the essence of the PvP. So it's nothing to fear about that.
What I like about arenas is that you only rely on your cooldowns and your spells, and there is no. I did. Since I'm a very lazy player, I don't really like having to farm grenade, potions and whatever to tryhard in BGs, etc. It's super entertaining, but this is something that I CBA. I prefer just using my spellbook and doing the most of it, out of it.
I choose to play on LS rather than farming 20k gold on WoW Classic to be more prepared. It's like, what the fuck? I prefer to have more fun first and then have more skill, because the real thing at the very end of DVC It's like the Tryhard player will prove his Tryhard by capping the PvE and capping then the PvP. Is the very end of DBC. It's not like the PvE, like you know all the mechanics already because there are thousands of videos. Like the more skill cap thing is PvP, and it's sad that many people are still in WoW and have the need of that recognition by the community of like, and he have their self-esteem linked to the PvE part of the game, which is like, okay, I'm sorry to say that, but what's happening in there? Because what you are showing with doing tryhard PvE, that you're able to spend countless hours in there farming to be the very first who have this, to be prepared for the raid and to be a part of the very first guild. I mean, doesn't feel mentally healthy for me. I mean, if you tell me that you spend countless hours doing something good for the community that has its value, that have its positive feedback, that is a real thing, as you do. Oh, again, the camera, sorry. I'm gonna put you on big screen, SBK.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay. Yes, I don't know if it's overheating or the brightness is rather low. But what I was about to say, yeah, it's pretty sad for me because I really found this many kind of players in classic WoW, which is like it's really sad because it feels like they have such an empty life that the last thing to have of recognition of something in their life is linked to WoW. But because if you are fulfilled by your life, you don't need that need of recognition in WoW, and you even do this on PvE, not even on PvP. I mean, at least in PvP, you're proving something, but in PvE, and it's sad because I think we have a lot of people of this profile in the WoW, and it just feels sad for me.
Yeah, because it leads to toxicity a lot.
For sure, and it leads to nonsense thinking of. I got really angry because I was searching PvE guild for DBC because I want to cap the beast items, the beast PvE items for PvP, like the School of Gul'dan, which is insane. Was even that trinket was forbidden in Endless to play with, and it's like, okay, you're not gonna look after of your good PvP players. I mean, obviously they have to show compromise on PvE side, and compared to the other skill mates that show also compromise on PvE side. But it's like, I'm asking you to have prio on the PvE items that are beasts for PvP. The rest, give it to their guildmates.
This is a behavior, this is a mentality that a lot of PvEers don't like. For, I mean, I don't know. It depends also about the guild itself. Like, there are guilds.
Yeah, there are guilds. I'm in a guild that takes care of that, and I'm really satisfied and happy with them and grateful for them. Yeah, sorry.
There are people that there are guilds, like, they want to be first at everything. They want to be highly competitive. They I mean,
yeah, but I'm not even talking about the first tier of guild. I'm talking about second tier that they are not even doing speedruns or not even doing first world.
But there are guilds too that that like to share moments. Like, you are 25 on Discord, you are doing raids, you are having good moments, and when you are all on this mindset, and then you suddenly have one guy in the raid that is only here to ask for loot, every boss he asks for a loot. This is something that can be very frustrating as a raid leader and as a raid member. Like, to have this guy that asks for everything, that rolls for everything, it's rather, I mean, okay, for nowadays, I guess these kind of things is.
Yeah, but I'm not on that profile, SBK. Yeah, I mean,
I know. But what I mean is, I can understand sometimes this kind of opinion, but yeah, this is super cool to have the chance to find guilds that are okay to do raids because they want to do raids, and to have PvP members that do raids for specific items because it will increase their performance in the PvP environment. I think it's a chance to find guilds like this, but it's like, I don't know, but there are a lot of PvEers that consider PvPers as toxic and vice versa, and
well, it's like PvEers lose their status and is linked with what I explained before.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so the clear question for you, SBK, will be: if you tomorrow you're a guild master, would you like to trade off the priority of a PvE member that will try hard PvP? Would you give them prio for PvP items for PvP in a situation that they have 40 to 60% difference as much, the same compromise, the same involvement, the same performance on the PvE side? Would you give them prio for the PvP items for PvP or not?
Honestly, for me, every loot in PvE is a reward for the player you are, for the player you, how to say that, the picture you. And I mean, when you're part of the guild, if you wear a tag, you have to understand that you represent a community when you are part of the guild. And for me, the red loots are to be considered as a reward for this aspect first.
So your position is that it has to be kind of agreed by the whole guild. But you were going to be open to that.
I mean, the mentality about the red loots has to be something that is, I like to feel the people, how to say that, they are all agree, they all agree with the decisions of giving red loot to one person or another. But I never played with DKP systems or whatever. It was not my thing, so I don't know how it works now, because I know there are a lot of things that kind of delete the human aspect of giving loots. So I don't know how it works, and I don't really care about that. But for me, having the chance to loot something from a boss has to be is supposed to reward you for something. So reward you for the way you are in the guild, the way you play. Could be you are always coming prepared, and you have always the buff. You buff other people. You share your mats. You share everything to help the guild to improve. You always end up top DPS because you are 100% focused on what you do, etc. Yeah, this is also a criteria to that count to take into count. I don't know if it's the correct expression, but you know what I mean. And I mean, if I was to give some loots to a player that want them for PvP, especially, I mean, this is, I mean, I'm no one to decide what is the best activity in the game, or what a player should do or not, etc. This is something that is, I mean, if he wants that for PvP, for me that's a valid argument, especially if he plays well in arena. I mean,
and you are doing well in raid too.
But if the player is like, I want Gul'dan because I want to have fun PvP, blah blah blah, and just sit low rating and just enjoy doing some BGs while being
but you know the profile I'm talking. I mean, I'm proving you that I will try hard PvP. I will try hard PvE.
I know. But I wasn't especially talking about you, I was talking the global things, and for
And
players
there
that
can be a
are,
lot of people that can get in under that umbrella, and it's like, okay, I also want this for PvP, and you have not proven, so it's not easy to filter the criteria. I agree
yeah.
with that. I've been in that part of having the criteria, and it's not that fucking easy.
So yeah, for players that will do well in arenas, of course, that would count too, because like I said in my first point, as a guild member, you represent a community, you represent, and I always loved fun, but I always loved performance too. So being represented in high rates is always a great opportunity to
It's
make
good
the
for
guild
the game.
shine.
For sure.
So this is, for example, I was super honored to see that there was one or two rogues having Silent Shadows tags or Silent Shadows in their nicknames during the second Endless tournament. I was like, oh my god, some guy took this sneak, and I was like, okay, that's super great. That will represent the website, the project, the community, etc. And I was super thankful for that. And this is I really see that like this, like when you're part of a community, be it a guild or a community, whatever it is, you always have to understand that when you tell something, when you do something, you represent a little bit your other mates, and yeah, this is why you could be the best player ever and be toxic as fuck. I wouldn't have you in my guild. I mean, yeah, you could be multi rank 1 and whatever. If you are just a toxic person, I don't see the point of playing with you, of talking with you, and of having you in my guild or in my team or whatever. I don't want this. I prefer to play like with less experienced player and enjoy my playtime rather than having the chance to do insane performance with the best players. I mean, if you're toxic, if what the only thing you do while being a rank 1 is being toxic, just I don't see the point. I mean, you're completely
it's pretty beautiful to see these values coming to esport, because actually they do. And you have seen across the history of traditional sport, like for example this cyclist that proved that he took drugs. Was it Neil Armstrong?
No, yeah.
The cyclist. So all of his value goes down. So it's pretty beautiful to have this perception coming to esports, because your esport career is not going longer as much above 35, being the longest, So what would you leave out of that? If you have grown values in your gaming career, maybe you can be later a coach, later an influencer, later an image or something. But if you have proven to be toxic or to do what kind of city behavior, your value of multi-rank 1, your value of world championship is going to go.
Yeah, completely true. And actually this is the only thing that people will remember about you, is that the wrong things you did. So yeah, it's the wrong approach to just fall in the toxicity and the ego thing when you're doing good. Just the thing I like to say is never forget where you come from.
Sure.
And the second thing I like to say is you always will be the noob of someone else. There is always a player that was better than you, that teach you the things, that talk to you the things, that will be better than you for a reason. He will always be able to make you to be better than you, etc. And for this reason, you have to always stay humble about what you are. Okay, you are reaching gladiator, you are reaching rank 1, but if we look at the past, you progressed to become like this, and you have to remember about the progress, the people that helped you to progress, the things that allowed you to progress to become the person you are today. And there are a lot of players, and I think it applies to every game, competitive game, online games, that forget about this, that forget about their path to become what they are. And for me, it's a good reason not to be toxic. It's like there will always be some players that I owe them something.
For sure. I wanted to ask, what has given you this attitude, and what has given you Silent Shadows overall? And I hope already that it gives you triple of what is already been giving you in reward till the day.
It gives you what?
What is giving you Silent Shadows in reward of your in trade of your involvement? Because obviously personal satisfaction, but may you concrete that a little bit?
Well, the original idea behind Silent Shadows was, if I retire from the game, I don't want the little knowledge I've got to be to vanish at the same moment that I quit the game. So I don't see I wanted to share the little knowledge that I had.
It's your legacy, Silent Shadows.
Before retiring. So
it's your fucking legacy. I love it.
Yeah,
I fucking love
but
it.
It's not only my legacy, because actually a lot of contents are not from myself. Like, there are many contents that were written by other players, and I mean, for example,
mate, but you are so how is the word? I don't want to misspell that word. In 1 second. But you are so humble that, I mean, if it wasn't for you, all that content is going to be not focusing one side over the network. So you have that fucking value, mate. You are the biggest forum for the rogue. I mean, you want to learn rogue, you go to Silent Shadows. If it wasn't for you, that wouldn't exist, mate. Can you imagine that? I mean, don't be such humble as SBK. I mean, or be humble, but wow, it's like you can afford to have a bigger self-esteem. You know?
Yeah, maybe, but I'm my, how to say that, my self-esteem actually, and my self-criticism is really high, I'd say. I mean, the self-criticism is very high, so my self-esteem is pretty low, because there are things that I wish I did. For example, I don't know, but that doesn't represent the excellence. For example, I wish I did
perfectionism.
Yeah, so basically, I don't have a big ego, because it's not me, and because I'm not satisfied with enough with
but that's an ego too. That's an ego too.
But how to say that, the idea behind Silent Shadows is that when I will leave the game, I will have something that will remain after my quit, and I'll be able to look at the past, to look at what I did with my playtime. I mean, I've played this game for a decade, and there are people that quit the game and forever, and there is nothing left from them, no print, nothing from them, and I think it's quite sad after dedicating yourself for such a long time to not to have something to remember about that, because it's obviously an important part of my life, and the life of players that played that long. And that's why I love rewatching some of my old videos, for example, because there I can see some old nicknames, some old mates, and I can remember about these moments and what we did, and it's something I really cherish. And about the website, it's kind of the same thing, because when I decide to quit the game, I'll be able to let something which is a website with a lot of information. And the idea behind creating a community is to make it work by its own. Like, it doesn't need me at all. Like, we've reached a point on the Silent Shadows Discord, for example, where I don't even need to interact with people because the Discord is able to almost live by itself. And that's what I want. It's to create something that will not depend on me. And if I manage to do that, I will be super proud of it, because that's the original goal. It's to make a transfer of knowledge, etc. And then for the things that I don't personally manage, because I know I'm not an expert of everything, and I write on my own perimeter. And for the other things, I prefer asking experienced players that share this vision of sharing to contribute to the website. And there are people that don't want to share, and that's okay. I mean, I can understand that you don't want to share for free your knowledge, etc. It's okay. The goal is not to give a tutorial to become a gladiator, to become a rank 1 gladiator.
Tips and all that.
Yeah, it's just more about, like, okay, there are things that everyone can find on the internet, and the idea is to have everything packed somewhere, and this is Silent Shadows. So I can have good times by working for the PvP content, because PvP is what I prefer, and some aspect of PvP, not everything in PvP. So there are things that I don't cover myself, such as arena team composition strategies, for example. I'm not the guy that will write a Rogue Druid strategy. I never played Rogue Druid in my life, so
I was going to ask you about tips of Mage Rogue against Druid Rogue.
Yeah,
but I can't forget that.
but about that, for example, like for me, okay, I've never played a Rogue Druid, so I won't write anything about Rogue Druid. That's not my job. My job is to find someone that wants to share about Rogue Druid enough things to help new players to understand how it works, etc. And I have some tips. Then for the things I've done, I am okay to share what I know when I'm 100% sure that I've got the correct knowledge. And for example, there are people like, okay, I've played a lot of Rogue Mage, I've played a lot of Shadow Priest Rogue, I've played a lot of whatever comes, but it doesn't mean that I'm an expert. I've played a lot of Rogue Mage, I'm still super shit at fighting a Rogue Druid, I'm still super shit at fighting WotLK Druid. I mean, it's life. I mean, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, and honestly, for me, it's you can have the best strategies. I mean, there are the RNG, there are the map, that there are so many things that can go wrong, and you sometimes you lose. It's not because I'm bad or whatever. It's because this is. I mean, sometimes you have to.
This is game. This is life.
You have to accept that the players in front of you knows what to do to avoid losing, and he will do that. If it's trinketing to applying to you a fire, well, you have two options when you are Rogue Mage versus Rogue Druid. I mean, if you do so, you know that you will open the Druid, the other Rogue will try to open you to peel the kidney shot, so you lose your first burst. So you have two options. You are like, okay, so I try to vanish instantly after my ship shot.
That's what I'm playing mostly.
So you are like, okay, so I vanish for the ship shot. Okay, I don't see the Rogue, I don't see anything. What do I do?
Yeah,
I will rip up on the Druid to try to do ship shot kidney and prepare and prep vanish. It's like, I mean, at some point you have to accept that there are some specific matchups where you have to play at your own risk, and sometimes it's, well, okay, what I can do is, instead of vanishing, that's the approach I got. That's not meaning it's the best strategy.
Yeah,
but you can
it's not a
think
clear
like,
one for me either.
but you can say like, okay, I will ship shot the Druid. The other rogue will obviously try to ship shot me. And during the ship shot on me, the Druid will be free to cast fire on me. So you know that's the only thing they want to do is to apply this shit on you, on the rogue, because then it will force the rogue to burn the cloak, and both vanishes in a very short period of time. So you can think like, okay, maybe I could ask my mage to silence the Druid during the ship shot, so I don't hit that fire, for example, and then I will be able to trinket kidney, to apply kidney and vanish at this moment, because then the mage will be able to land some burst. For example, like you can vanish and ship shot the other rogue, and then the mage is completely free to enjoy the kidney and do his damage, and then you can eventually succeed to push a trinket, and then you can have your blind and your reset, and that's exactly what you want, the reset. Yeah. And there are many paths. I'm not saying it's the best strategy, and I wouldn't even write this in a strategy because I'm not myself convinced it's the best way.
It's the hardest matchup. Theoretically, for Mage Rogue, it's the hardest matchup because theoretically it's more easy to understand against Druid Lock. Even it's harder to win, maybe. But theoretically, the matchup of Mage Rogue against Druid Rogue is like...
Even there will always be players saying like, okay, I play Rogue Druid, but Rogue Mage is super easy to beat Rogue Druid, dude. You just have to open Druid, shatter combo.
No, at the top level is not.
Yeah, I know. But there are always people able to tell you that you are wrong, and because mage damage is so great, etc. And all this to say that the idea of Silent Shadows Anywhere is to just share the knowledge and to get it packed, to be packed somewhere. And if I leave the game, there is something I leave behind, and I will be very happy to see it useful for the community when I personally move on. That's the concept.
You're the best guy in the WoW community at the moment, SBK.
No, I don't think so. There are a lot of people that
you're the best guy.
There are a lot of people that are positive in the same way. Maybe we don't know them, or maybe because they are on retail, but
okay, just tell me one people that when he ends up the work, he would prefer to invest time in the thing he does for the community rather than into logging into World of Warcraft to play DDC Classic. Tell me just one.
Well, every people that run a website about the game is
we can understand
it comes with sacrifices.
Yeah, 10 to 20 about that kind of people in the WoW community, but still, I mean, I've seen people of that kind, but it's like the level of deepness you get is nothing compared to other websites, because mostly other kind of websites or forums, like in each language, is like repeating the content or giving some guides and all kind of stuff you expect from content creators of WoW community, but you are giving something nobody expected, and it's different, and it's deeply useful, because it's not the basic guide to play this setup. As Rogue, you can play with this, you can play with that. No, you get deeper. You will fight these strengths, these weaknesses, and you give that from a point of authority, So it's like, maybe with this profile, it's not like 10 to 20 people. Maybe it's like 3 to 5 people as you in the whole WoW community, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, well, the fact is PvP always was... I mean, I have personally nothing to lose to do that, because I don't even look for being a competitive player during BC Classic or whatever. So The true question would be, would I do that if I was planning to be as active like I was like 5 years ago? Like, would I be okay to put such an amount of detail and knowledge in a guide? And I can't reply to this question because I don't know. But
Yeah, but well, what is
that's the
beautiful?
that's the true question, because for now
But you don't need to answer
I
that.
know.
It's pretty beautiful because if you self-automatize Silent Shadows, you will be able to play maybe 1 or 2 months on Tryhard level at TDC Classic.
Yeah, that's why I want to have the most of the what I
You
call
deserve that.
that's what I want to say.
Automatize.
That, sorry. Yeah.
Automatize.
What I look for is to have most of the cold content of my website prepared for before the end of phase 1. What does that mean? That means like the cold content is the page that when they are done, they won't likely change. I mean
the core content.
The shadow step guide.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something like I won't change every 5 minutes. It's like once it's done, it's done. And for most specialization, that's the same. Then every guide is the same, like how to weapon swap or whatever. Everything like this will not change. On the other hand, you have hot contents, which are the news that I release in Rogue Life. So it's kind of a magazine with periodic content written. And that's what I want. I want to have only to focus on the hot content. Once the cold content are done, I'm pretty sure I will have more time to focus on the game. But for now, there are still a lot of cold content to deliver. And that's why I can't really dedicate myself to playing. Because once every guide, etc., basic guide will be on, I will be able to be like, okay, so I will write 1 or 2 news per month or 1 news a week, whatever, and it will eat me a lot less time because I will have a lot less effort to make in terms of community management, for example.
Okay.
For now, Silent Shadows, like doing content for the website, is like 10% of what I do for Silent Shadows. Like, I most of time I spend for Silent Shadows is not about writing guides or whatever. Like, it's about networking with people. It's about
supervising,
interacting on different social media. It's about listening to the community, watching content to improve myself on this or that. It's about finding people that want to contribute, about managing the Discord, like, okay, searching what is the best way, searching different setups to improve the experience of you Discord users, recruiting people lately for the moderation of the Discords, etc. There are many things I do that take me a lot of time, and I can't write or I can't play. But I have to do all that because what I didn't say so far is that I try to do Silent Shadow as professionally as possible in terms of best practices, because I personally work in similar. I mean, it's kind of my real life job. What I do for Silent Shadows is reproducing what I do in my real life job, and so I've learned a lot of things during the first lockdown due to COVID, and because at my job we were building a new website at this moment. So when we were working on that website, I was like, okay, so now I have to take this opportunity to start working on my own website, because this is the right timing. I am 100% at home, so I have more flexibility and I can learn a lot of things, because at my job we have like many agencies that help us to build our website with the best practices. I mean, we paid a lot of money to get all these advices, to this expertise from companies that create website and help you understanding how SEO works, how social media works to make things viral, etc. And what I try to do with Silent Shadows is to reproduce all what I've learned at my job to make it as good as it is for my own website. And so far, yeah, I've followed all the best practices, and it works very well. To be honest, I'm really proud of it, and I even share it now professionally. What's been done with Silent Shadows is something that I can show in my resume, etc. It's something and that's part of the reason why I got promoted at my work too. It's because what I do is just proving my way to work and
your expertise.
Yeah, my expertise, and that's a good way to sell. And finally, the good reward for me is to grow up professionally by doing Silent Shadows, and this is something that I don't really communicate a lot about. But finally, if I don't get money from Patreon because people don't want to give money, I can understand. But anyway, I got already a lot of money from my job for doing that because I got promoted. So it's kind of the same finally, because ultimately doing Silent Shadows is not a full-time project, it's just a hobby for me. So if I can get some reward for what I do, because I'm aware that it deserves some reward,
for sure,
it's not the end of my life. If people want to tip me, I'm super thankful and grateful because it's a motivation for me. And I feel like, okay, I receive tips for what I do, so it means that people like what I'm doing. So it gives more strength to continue and to try improving everything. But at the end of the day, if I don't,
you appreciate more the time involvement of people and the quality of time involvement of other people.
Yeah, I think there are so many sources of information that having a place where everything is packed is always good, because ultimately what I think is the website saves a lot of time to a lot of players, and that's what makes it popular so far.
For sure. Okay, so ending, I would like to ask you, because my girlfriend is coming full July to live with me, and it's like DBC went out. Will you give me any advice? And you have combined a relationship with DBC gaming.
This is complicated because this is also a subject. I mean, a topic we've got at home with my fiance. Is that I have to. We've got to a point where we are thinking about having a planning at home to make sure I will not burn out myself, because my work is my responsibilities. My responsibilities at work are growing, and my working time is growing too. And besides that, I have Silent Shadows, which is really in need of time. I don't know how to say it differently, but it really requires me to be there, to focus on, okay, check just the website, is it working correctly every day, checking, then okay, I see this error or that, and then improve, etc. Then I have my girlfriend. I mean, she's not even after. I mean, there is all these three things have to exist at
the same time.
Yeah, to work. And I've promised my girlfriend that Silent Shadows wouldn't be above her
in priority to her.
Yeah. It's like I'm always trying to optimize things. But if my girlfriend comes and asks, let's go this afternoon, we'll do this or that, etc. I will never have any doubt. Like, okay, I planned to release a guide this afternoon. this is something that happened this weekend. Like I was supposed to release a page, and yeah, but I had real life stuff, and for me it's way more important.
prior.
That's my future. So
For sure it is.
So yeah,
it's the same for me. It's the same for me. Maybe
so
someday
it's hard to give advices rather than properly communicating with your.
That's the best advice. Not hiding what you want, because when you hide that you want to play arena or you have raid this day, then your girlfriend tells you to do something that day, and maybe she will be happy to do it next day. But if, as you haven't tell her, she planned it for the day you have the raid or you have arenas, the whole evening.
Yeah.
But in the moment it feels bad, but it's the lack of communication before.
Yeah, that's the lack of communication, because even I took a lot of time before telling my girlfriend I was playing World of Warcraft. Like it took me like probably 6 or 7 months before I told her.
That's huge.
And then when I was playing, I was only playing when she was out of arm, when she was sleeping, or these kind of things.
Yeah.
And finally, after I don't know how long, but we were able to say, okay, so when I'm playing, she has other activities and it's healthy for everyone, and there is no miscommunication about the amount of time I'm playing. And of course there is a borderline, I don't know how to say that, a limit to set. Of course, sometimes you have to accept that playing 4 hours in a row is not cool for your girlfriend. It's like, I mean, she for a whole half of the day, she doesn't see you because you prefer being on your computer. That's not cool for her.
Obviously, you have to empathize with her.
Yeah, you have to understand that. Well, your real life matters, and sometimes you have to accept that you will not be able to dedicate as much as you would, and sometimes you just have some. For example, for myself, sometimes my girlfriend wants to go to her parents because she's really close to them. Like really, if she could see them every week, she would. Okay. But the fact is, well, it's not happening every week, obviously. But yeah, sometimes she said we go at her parents for a weekend, and I'm going with her. And the next week she wants again to go at her parents, and I'll say, okay, you can go, but I won't come, because at least you'll have some moments with your parents without me.
For sure, the balance.
And for me, I will use this time to dedicate myself to whatever I want
to silence shadows, to gaming, to do nothing, to just be alone and sit on the sofa.
Yeah. And so we found this way to work, and it works well, because sometimes I'm able to plan things. So okay, I know she won't be there this weekend, so I will not be forced to spend my whole evening for the whole week in front of the computer, and I will be able to be with her, because I know that during the weekend I will be able to catch up with what I didn't do, etc. And that's all that comes from communicating.
And the question, we have 3 minutes more as much. If you imagine you have a son, and your son is going to follow equally step by step the gaming pattern you have across your life, what would you tell him? What would you advise him? And it's connected with what's already been talking. It's a deep question to close the whole interview.
That's super interesting. I think the first thing is to keep in mind that the game is a game. That's the first advice I would give him. Obviously, I won't be. I think I will try to prevent my children from screens a lot, because I know the risks that comes with it. So I don't want to. I think I will prevent them prevent him from screens. But well, obviously at a certain age, he will
It's impossible.
he will ask for playing games, etc., and that would be perfectly fine. But then you have to set some limits. You have to try to create moments of family moments
With no screens?
No screens or whatever, or just being together, because
Yeah.
what I don't want to is to get my son with his door closed and playing for 7 hours and doing nothing else than playing, and missing the family life, because I know that's what I missed when I was young. So I don't want him to have this. So I will be more like interested to play with him some games, to see, to create some competitive moments, some let me search the word. Some complicity too.
Yeah, complicity. Yeah.
And all that things will help. I think, to prevent the abuse, not the abuse, the excess. The excess of gaming, etc. And then, if it appears that this kid want to be a pro gamer or whatever, then that would be. I mean, I've got the chance to live the early days of that, and this is something that can occur. I mean, there are people that want to be influencers. There are people that want to be pro gamers, that want to be full-time streamer, etc. This is, for nowadays, nobody can say it's not a good project. It's not something you can rely on, because actually there are a lot of people, influencers or streamers, that can make a lot more money than what I do by working 40 hours a week, So of course I wouldn't say it's bad. I think I would.
We are not fully prepared, but you and me are better prepared than any other parents,
Absolutely, like better prepared than our parents, for sure, for example. So yeah, this is something, but all that comes from communicating too. I mean, if you manage to spend good moments with your kids, I mean, you can really avoid that. And it's not bad if it happens. I mean, it's not a necessity to avoid that, but when you know the risks, of course you want to prevent them from the risk. So yeah, I think it's something like just gaming healthy. I mean, it's just that, and that's what I wanted to highlight on Silent Shadows 2 with the article you wrote. Actually, it's that we have to have an approach which is healthier about the gaming.
Otherwise, prevent the snowball from getting too big, that it's too late to push back the snowball. It's so important. It's so important, and mostly because when you get aware that SBK is a proof, me myself, I am a proof that you can combine life and gaming. It's not going to be easy, but on the long run, when, let's say, in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years, you grow your son, you will have closed this chapter. And when your son in 20 years gets older, you will be happier and more satisfied with your life if you're able to tell him that you got to do this instead of being a bit scared of doing that because of the harm that it can deal for your life. And you will be more proud if you have done this instead of you wouldn't do this.
Yeah. I think of course, when you look at this few years after, I mean, I think of course you will be proud, because kids is like the reason to. I mean, once you've got kids, it's your responsibilities to make sure they will not waste their life. So the screen risks is like you sometimes you teach your kids to check at right and left before crossing the road, and it's the same with internet and screens. for me. It's like you have to.
But they can do something meaningful. I mean, you can channel, as you did with yourself, as I did with myself, you can channel the gaming motivation, the internet motivation, the content creation motivation to do things useful that you feel proud of.
Yeah.
So it's
that's what I did, with Silent Shadows is actually exactly what I did. It was a quite toxic hobby, and it became something different.
For sure, as me. And it's normal to have that little bit of fear of screen always, because always the dopamine stimulus is always to remain there. And when you are going through a down of life, the dopamine stimulus is going to be there with more alert, so it's good to have that little bit of fear always. SBK, it's been such an honor to have you. I think I don't overestimate you. Okay, you are the fucking king of the WoW community at the moment, till someone gets you off the throne. Okay, and it feels for me, it's like you are big because the things you do. It's like whatever. I can interview, let's say, 1 million subscriber YouTuber or something else. I'm not gonna say I don't give a fuck. Will be insanely good for me, but I see you as big as that because of the things you do. Even you don't have 1 million subscribers, or you are not a Olympus on the content creation environment. You are on the Olympus of blogging. Maybe you don't get to Olympus of content creation. I don't know if you will, because you don't make such continuous videos. But for sure, you're on the Olympus of WoW community, and I think you already have that, and still you have the best to do in the next 2 years. Thank you so much, SBK.
Thank you for this interview. That was super great to talk about different things around the game, etc. I really liked it, and really thank you for the final words that you said. It's really meaningful, and that's always a pleasure to have these moments with you to discuss and even to play. Sometimes we play together, and that's always cool. And I know sometimes I'm not as I don't know how to say it, but I'm busy, and that's all. And I know sometimes I don't pay attention to things or whatever. And but anyway, thanks for receiving me. That was super great. I'm as well honored to be part of this. I hope that you found what you hoped to find in this interview, and I hope the viewer will enjoy it too. And if you are playing a rogue and enjoying the class, don't forget to check out the website and join the Discord, because it's a great community. We've got a very lovely and positive community so far, and I hope it will stay like this, and I will do my best to make sure it stays as good as it is. And I guess I see you next time.
Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe to Silent Shadows, best rogue content. Thanks, Sbkzor. I don't know. Well, I would like to ask you, which server would you play to imagine I have the chance to play with you again?
So far, I've got a rogue on a French crowded server named Sulfuron.
Okay, never mind. Will be hard to play. I don't know if my rogue GameX, which is French too, is playing on Sulfuron.
But I might have a second rogue on another server, but I haven't decided yet which server, which faction.
Never mind. Maybe I can consider in the future to migrate the character because the meta will be at the very end will be the PvP, So sometime maybe I can consider migrate or not.
Yeah.
And lastly, can you tell straight to camera, if you're a rogue playing with Mage, make sure to burn preparation fast?
Sorry, I didn't understand what?
Can you tell straight look into camera, if you are a rogue playing with Mage, make sure to burn preparation fast?
Make sure to what?
To burn preparation fast.
To bump.
I want to clip that to post.
If you're playing rogue mage, make sure to bump preparation button fast.
Yeah, that's it.
Je t'en prie.
Okay. It's good. I'm sorry because we've been 3 minutes later. Never mind. Thank you so much for the interview. I enjoyed it a lot. Hope people enjoy it too. See ya. Much love.
See ya. Bye bye.